What's going on, Jared? All right, so I don't know, this is Wednesday will be your last class till January, so I didn't want to put anything on the calendar. Then we're off for a week, and then we're back on, and we're off for a week. So you'll be off until the 4th of January, unless you have other plans. Maybe we can start the 4th, or the 6th, or the 11th, or 13th, whatever is better for you. Fun, you're on mute, Jared.
On a Monday?
What was that?
The 4th on a Monday?
Yeah, the 4th on a Monday, yes.
Yeah, so let's just do it on the 4th, and
Cool.
that'll be good to go.
Perfect. Yeah, I'll just Wednesday will be a last, and then we'll pick it back up.
Awesome. Sounds pretty good. Well, actually, is this number 12?
It's 11.
Okay, so that's actually perfect. Okay, perfect. Because there's 12 classes, so that's perfect timing. Awesome. All righty.
But nobody's on. So you know what? Lauren Golden's teaching a class right now. It might be going over an hour.
Gotcha. Well, I'll just kind of put my thing on whatever and
Yeah.
see people join. Let's see people join. All righty, cool. Do you have me as host?
I'm gonna do it right now.
Okay. Hey, George.
Hey, how you doing?
Pretty good, man. I think there's a few other classes going on concurrently, so we might be skipping today.
No
Uh,
problem, no problem.
yeah, because kind of kind of boring just for two people to be on.
uh,
How's it going for you so far?
it's doing good. It's doing good. It is a totally a different environment from the other broker that I came, and um, I'm just trying myself to be organized, just to make sure that I'm taking everything that Kelly Williams have to offer.
Sure.
But it's great. I just found out my mentor is going to be Justin, and I'm very excited to be with him. The only thing is I'm calling just sphere that I have and trying to be efficient on social media and YouTube, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, whatever I can do it. Because I'm not gonna do the cold calling right now. I was thinking to do it, but I'm not gonna do it right now.
Sure.
That's what I'm doing.
So let me ask, what brokerage did you come from?
Century 21.
Oh,
Yep.
cool.
Yeah, Century 21 here in Orange County. But it was funny when I got my license was when I received my license 2 months ago, 3 months ago. I applied for many brokerage, but none of them replied to me. One of them was Keller Williams. But I understand because you guys are like very busy. So the only one that kind of replied to me and received me good was Century 21. So at that moment, I signed. I signed with them. After that afternoon, the same day, Josh called me. Say, hey George, how you doing? I said, oh snap. And in the Keller Williams, I know Keller Williams is great with their training for new agents. So I said, Josh, let me go with Century 21 for this month and see how it goes. And after 2 months, I said, yeah, I need a better foundation. So I moved to Keller Williams.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, man, I was with Rodeo Realty for a while, for like 2 years, and they just don't really give a damn. If you just like kind of show up in the office, I remember people wouldn't even say hi to you. Like I'd be
Wow.
like, "Hey, how you doing? I'm Jared." They're like, "What do you want?" And I'm like, oh,
Oh my goodness, man.
like a weird atmosphere. But no, there's actually great agents there as well. But it just wasn't really, I
Hmm.
needed to learn how to be a self-sufficient agent, and they didn't really
Correct.
have, the resources. But
Correct.
good stuff, everyone. So everybody, we have a very small class today. It looks like. I think.
I think some people might have been watching Lauren's presentation. It went
Oh,
over.
right. Hey, Lauren's the man. He's the guy I use quite frequently for all my escrows. In fact, I just closed one today with him for title. So good stuff. All righty, everybody. Let's just go through this. We'll have a somewhat of a shorter day. Um, Next class Wednesday is the last one for the remainder of the year. We'll start again on January 4th. But for most of the people, today is quote unquote graduation, and or tomorrow rather, or sorry, Wednesday, excuse me. So good stuff. Congratulations, y'all. Let's see, new share. Awesome. All righty. As always, let's do our daily 10-4 and do our reporting, see how many calls and contacts we've made. I don't see Adam. Let's see. Michael Kinnaman, how you doing, bud?
Great. How are you?
I'm good. I had a nice hike this morning. Awesome power session with Josh. I'm amped.
Yeah.
How was your weekend? Did you do any contacts, any calls?
Yeah, a little bit. I got a Christmas tree this weekend. That was exciting and decorated that. Trying to get in the spirit. And actually posted on social media my tree, and a couple people made a comment. I actually gave them a heads up that I'm in real estate. So I guess another question I have is, what do you classify as successful contact? I mean, is it what if you don't even mention that you're in real estate? Is that a failed conversation, or like how's this measured?
So, yeah, I would say a successful contact is just having a two-way conversation about real estate. So yes, real estate does have to be brought up. Whether it is, oh yeah, I'm in real estate, or oh yeah, I just closed on this deal. Like, do you know anybody who's looking to buy or sell? Like, I'd love to get another client or something like that. Whatever it might be, it just has to have a little bit of that, real estate
Okay.
context.
So I don't really have to ask for business. I can just say, hey, just so you know, I've been in luxury fashion as an executive for over 20 years, and just want you to know that I'm no longer in the fashion world. I'm in luxury real estate.
Boom. There you go. Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah, so I probably had like, I guess per day, and I guess I'm not measuring it per day. I've been just kind of keeping track for the week. So I probably had like 12 contacts. But I got something interesting today, which I'm actually going to role play with Justin later. I got a note in my mailbox from, I assume the developer that's tearing down a home behind me. So I kind of want to figure out how to have, because now I have a name and a number, which I never had before. So I want to kind of work with him on how this call could go and potentially turn into, representing the guy when he's done with this house. So.
Sure. How did you meet him? Did you just walk over and introduce yourself?
No, I didn't meet him. I think he sent just kind of this like a neighborly note saying, the purpose of this letter is to give you notice that, we're going to perform on Ashcraft Avenue demolition starting January 4th. Give me your email. I'll keep you updated if there's any issues. So it was just more of like we're right behind this house that's going to be torn down. So it was just like a nice little like heads up note.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, that's in my opinion. How do you think that the conversation would go? How would you?
I just would say, thanks for, I think I would go the route of thanks for, giving us a heads up and being kind enough to send us a note. I'm right behind you. I'm also work for, in real estate for Keller Williams. I know the neighborhood. I know, I've lived in the neighborhood for 6 years. I have a dog. I know everyone on the street. If I can help you get your new property sold, I'd love to do that.
Sure, absolutely.
Is that too much?
I would even
forward.
I like it. I would maybe break the ice a little bit. Be like, oh, so you're going to be doing demos, so it's going to be noisy all this time. Well, hey, listen, if you list with me, I promise I won't, make any complaints. And then they go, ha 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 ha. And then they're like, no, but seriously, jokes aside, I am in real estate, and being that I am somebody who lives in the neighborhood, I've lived here for X amount of years. I know everybody. And as you might know, 80% of people who move to a neighborhood know somebody who lives in that neighborhood. So quite frankly, my connections over here is going to be a really, really great, thing for you and your company and your developer and your development. And, hopefully I can be of assistance. Have you already decided on a real estate agent? And, start it like maybe kind of like that. And,
Right.
kind of lighten it a little bit and, be like, great. And then if he goes, oh, well, we haven't even crossed that line then yet. Be like, perfect, not a problem. Let me ask you, do you think you could give me a tour of the property or let me look at the plans? Like, I love architecture. I love looking at plans. I'd love to know what it's going to look like. Love to be a resource to you, stuff like that. But Justin's great. So he'll help you out a lot, but.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, so that's my big win if I get somewhere with that this week.
Awesome. Good stuff. All righty, moving down. I see George right there. How you doing, bud? How was your weekend? And did you make any contact calls, stuff like that?
Weekend, yes, I actually did. It was 2 contacts that I did. It was 2 potential buyers that one was a Brazilian actress that I did a job with her back in Brazil, and now they live here in America. They actually helped me out a lot with my green card, and now I call them just to let them know about my real estate career. And by coincidence, they are really thinking and looking to purchase a home. and her father probably in Brazil is going to help her out with money. So that's one of the things that I need to do today is call the lender, see how the process of the money from another country to here to like to help a family. So I
Can
want
I
to see how that's going to help.
recommend a lender to you?
What I said?
Can I recommend a lender to you?
Yeah, that would be great.
Paige Shalhoub, Movement Mortgage. She's very familiar with working with people from out of the country.
Really? What, say the name again?
May Shalhoub. I'll write it in the chat box.
Awesome, awesome.
Add her.
Yeah, and it's so basically her dad is a business owner, businessman back there in Brazil, and she said that her dad wants to do it, her husband wants to do it, so we're gonna have actually a meeting, Zoom call meeting on Wednesday. So I want to be prepared for that.
Nice, man. Very cool.
And yeah, so I think the week I'm gonna say 2 and 2 was I'm sorry, 3 and 2, 3 and 2. What are my numbers?
3 and 2. Sorry, I'm just writing down the number for you in the chat box.
Thank you.
And 305. Awesome. So everybody, by the by, one of the main lenders that I use is May Shalhoub. She's great. She's on the ball constantly, and she's very, very experienced. If you need quick closes, she can sometimes do that. She usually beats most rates, even from like other banking institutions and stuff. So I highly, highly recommend her. She's great working with first-time buyers, and she's even better working with the experienced buyer. So I highly recommend May, and she knows what she's doing. So, all righty. So what was that, 3 and 2 you said, George?
Yes, 3 and 2.
Awesome. And I just want to make sure I got. So I think you went from, what is this? Today's 11, you were on 10. 11. All righty, awesome. Thank you, George.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Let's see, who else is on here? Jasmine, are you on my,
I'm not.
you're not? Are you new?
I'm not new to the office, but I'm new to your calls.
Oh, I know you, Jasmine. Sorry, I looked at the
Yes.
last name now. Well, just thought I'll put you in. How many contacts did you make this week?
Contacts meaning phone calls or showings or
Conversation, something about real estate. Could be showings, could be current clients, could be new clients that you're prospecting.
I would say 3 people.
3 people.
3 people.
Awesome. Good stuff, Jasmine.
Hopefully next week it'll be more.
No worries. Ellie, how about you? You there, Ellie?
That's me.
That's you.
Oh, so I was having problems with the microphone. Okay, I have a good weekend. So this weekend I didn't do contacts other than show the property that I have. Two persons. And last week I did something like, let me see, 32 and 5 between Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday.
Nice.
Yes, and I'm looking with 2 buyers. They are developers, so hopefully I can find something good for them. And one of them is my boyfriend, so I hope I can do something good.
Those are the best ones.
I know.
Nice. Good job. I have a property in Bel Air if he's interested in Bel Air. It's off market. Might work for him.
Is it ready to do demo?
If you want to demo it, you can demo it. If you want to, make it, I don't know. I always say it's a little different for me to answer that because I was in construction, and I know a lot of people, a lot of developers who would buy a new property, they'd keep one of the walls up so they didn't have to get certain types of permits for it, and just do a partial demo and expand on the property. But I mean, if you wanted to demo it completely, then absolutely, you can totally do that too.
How much is that?
2.7.
Okay, yeah, it's out of his budget. He's looking for 1.5.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
No worries.
Mhm.
Perfect. Well, I'm as promised, I'll do mine. I think I did something like, I forgot what I had. It was like something like 45 or something like that. Let's call it 45 and 30. I think it was four. I think I had 45 contacts though. But more importantly, I am closing 2 escrows today. I just opened another escrow and I closed another lease and I got another lease listing. So get on those calls. The more active you are, the more business you will get. That is for sure. So if I can leave with anything, it's be active. All righty. So let's get right into it. We need to go.
Cindy here.
Oh, Cindy, what's up, Cindy?
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, thank you.
What's new?
2 out of 5, so that way we can just go back to what you were talking about.
All right, 2 out of 5. Oops. How did those go, Cindy?
They were good. I'm expecting a few callbacks. That's it. I'm gonna be calling them back if I don't hear from them by the end of today.
Absolutely. Good job. Be proactive. You got it. Okay, so let me get into KW Connect. So for everybody who doesn't know how to get to the material for today's lesson, I want to show you where I go. So we're in KW Connect. We're going to go into resources, go down to KWU. We're going to go over to Ignite. And today's class, I'm going to go to student resources first. Today's class is power session number 11. Here we go. And that's how you get to it. Now I'm going to go ahead and put this into the chat box so we can all get onto it and follow along. All righty. Now let me go back over to the instructor one for myself. Oops, 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 oops. There we go. Number 11. Okay. Okay, great. So, power session 11, closing the deal. I love closing deals, so this is great. We want to basically go over the contract to close process, what's involved in all of that. A lot of like important little like caveats that we might not even think about when we're closing, but we got to keep our eye on the ball. And then more importantly, you know, what I always like to listen, we talk about our daily 10-4 constantly. And if somebody can help me, Ellie, what's our daily 10-4? There, Ellie?
Sorry, I'm confused with 2 computers at the same time. Yes.
What's our
What
daily?
is my daily 10-4?
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm doing 10-4.
Gotcha. Okay, well, our daily 10-4 is to make at least 10 contacts per day, writing 10 notes per day. So everybody, for example, let's say yesterday I made 10 contacts. Today I would write 10 notes to those 10 contacts just to follow up. We want to preview 10 properties a week, and we want to add 10 contacts into our CRM database, which for us typically will be Command, but if you use something else, that's fine as well. So our daily 10-4 is adding 10, contacting 10 people about real estate, writing 10 notes. It could be an email, it could be snail mail, it could be a direct message on Instagram, could be a text message, whatever. Just saying, hey, listen, I really enjoyed our conversation the other day. Let's follow up and have, get together sometime soon. Maybe we can get some coffee. Something simple. Maybe you talked about sports or something all of a sudden. Hey, did you watch the football game on Sunday? Blah, 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 blah. Hope you enjoyed it. Hey, listen, I really enjoyed our conversation about real estate. Let me know if I can be of assistance. So that's the 10 notes. And then we're going to preview 10 properties a week. So for right now, unfortunately, we're not doing open houses or brokers opens. So we're going to go ahead and go on the MLS and we're going to preview 10 properties. Hopefully we have 10 properties that came onto the market. Unfortunately, because we don't have that many listings, we still have an inventory issue. We might want to expand that a little bit or look for price changes or stuff like that. And then also, just as important as all three of those, is we want to add 10 contacts into our CRM, our database. Why is that? Adding contacts into your CRM is going to allow you to follow up very, very efficiently. It's going to allow you to set drip campaigns. You can put special tags on a lot of these different clients and stuff. Let's say you want one of all like your new married couples. You know, you might send out bulk emails to those people who just got married. Let's say somebody just got a new job. You know, you can add a tag, just got a new job. So you can send a bulk email out to people who just got a new job. How to stay in contact with your old colleagues and stuff and maintain, blah, 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 blah. That's important for a lot of people in the corporate world. So all those things are very good, but we want to be doing those every single day, and it's very important. And I think what we'll find in this lesson, it is also important as well. Okay, so let's get it going. So we got some scripts that we're going to practice with. And just like I said, it's very, very important for us to be constantly asking for additional business and following up and keeping in touch with people. I think that something like 80% of people will say that they'd work with a realtor again, but only like 20% do. I'm making that statistic up. I have a feeling it'll be in this class. But it's very shocking that a lot of agents do not follow up with people after they close. After you close a deal with somebody, they should be one of your new best friends. So always reach out to old clients and especially let them know how appreciative you are when you're closing. So, okay, scripts for calling people outside your area. If I could get a couple people over here to role play with me. George, Gaspar, do me a favor. Let's read. Do you have the material up on your screen?
Yes, just
perfect. Let's do page 9, scripts for calling. People outside your area, and I'll be the person you're calling. So make sure you pause for me to kind of respond back to you and stuff like that.
Okay.
Rock and roll.
Hello, this is Jared. Oh, sorry.
I think it's George.
Hello, this is George. I know it's been a while since we've been in touch. As you know, I'm still in Los Angeles, and I've been busy growing my real estate business with Keller Williams Realty here.
Awesome, man. Thank you for letting me know. How can I help you?
I wanted to ask a favor. With people moving all around the country and becoming more global, I wanted to check with you about a couple things. One, do you know of anyone looking to move to my area or of anyone moving out of my area?
Yeah, actually, you said you're in Orange County, right?
Yes.
Yeah, actually, my cousin, really, Adam, he just sold his condo. I think he's going to be moving to Orange County.
Very nice. Very, very nice. Do you wouldn't mind to share his contact with me?
Sure. Absolutely. Here you go. Boom.
Nice. Second, I can help people where you live with their real estate needs by referring them to the best Keller Williams agent in the area. That way, I know they would be professionally represented at the highest level. Can you think of anyone needing help with the real estate?
Well, just my cousin right now. So, and I just gave you their info. So
good. Thank you. Thank you for helping me out. I would like to share my real estate app with you. You can see what's for sale and price from your street to any place in North America. It is free. There is no cost to you, and I can send you a text with a link to it. Does it sound good?
Sounds awesome, man. Absolutely.
Nice. Very nice, Jared. Thank you. Thank you for your time and help. And please let me know if there is anything I can ever do for you.
Awesome. So scripts are so important. And why do we practice scripts constantly?
Just to have a structure, a guideline, basically, would it be?
Yeah. The way I look at scripts, we have to think of ourselves as actors or actresses. When we're going ahead to read scripts and stuff, we want to practice that script over and over and over again. So when we get ready for our big scene, we just, it's like muscle memory. We're just, it's off the top of our head at that point. And then it turns it not so much into a script, but a conversation parameter. And that's kind of how I like to look at it. Whenever you see actors or actresses on this big screen, and you're just like, you just totally forget that they're in a movie acting. They're just so good. And I have to say, the reason why they seem so good is because they practice those scripts over and over and over again, over and over and over again. They do rehearsals. They have like a script partner. They have a coach. They have all of these things that we as agents, frankly, have, but we don't really utilize as much as we should. So if I were to read this script at this point, because I've seen this script before, it's like, hey, this is Jared Medlinski. I know it's been a while since we've been in touch, but as you know, I'm still in Beverly Hills. I've been busy growing my real estate career here at Keller Williams. Listen, I wanted to ask you a favor. Do you know anybody who's moving around the country or maybe possibly into my area? No. Okay, well, that's not a problem. Well, second, I'd like to ask if you can help. Real estate needs blah 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 blah. So I don't know it by heart anymore. But the point is if I kept practicing that, it would just come out so much more naturally. And all of a sudden, when I'm on the phone with somebody, I take the time to like read it over like 3 or 4 times before picking up the phone, before getting on the line, and all of a sudden it's just a conversation rather than like, somebody to try to sell you a cell phone, plan. But very good, George. That was awesome. Thank you so much.
Also, my partner's in customer service, and a lot of times they used to call them scripts. They actually call them call guides now because they don't want people to feel locked into saying everything verbatim. So I like the word call guide better.
I agree. Conversation parameters, call guide. I love it. I like call guide. It's a little bit easier. I like it. Good job. Awesome. Thank you all. Okay, get your head in the game. Closing is not an event. It's a complex process that involves a series of steps, multiple parties, and a myriad of details. This is where you can truly shine as a customer experience professional. It is your job to ensure that all steps are completed on time and all parties are aware of their roles and what's expected of them. Especially your role becomes that of a project manager, in addition to being a knowledgeable and calm fiduciary to your client. In a successful contract to close process, the transaction closes on time as expected. The process is smooth and painless for all parties involved. You win future business due to your 10 plus customer experience. So some of the stuff that it mentions: be organized with a system in place, a checklist, schedules, forms, be knowledgeable of all the steps involved and potential pitfalls to avoid. Come from contribution and have a mindset of winning for your clients. Create project management skills with attention to all details, working cooperatively with other agents and their clients. Over communicate. I can't stress how important that is. Over communicate with your clients on the process so there are no misunderstandings. Ask for referrals and testimonials and review at the peak time when your client is happiest. So for example, when your client is just like, oh dude, I'm so excited, I'm closing on this house, be like, oh, thank you so much. Hey, by the by, could you do like me a solid? Could you write like maybe like a little review for me? Right on Zillow, you can find me online and I'll send them a link actually, frankly. If you can take the time just to give like a little review and just say how like the process went, that would mean so much to me. You'd be surprised at how much business I get just from reviews. Yeah, sure, absolutely. Then you can copy and paste that review, post it on your Instagram, post it on your Facebook, plus it's on your Zillow. And more importantly, that review will help your friends and family realize, hey, Jared's really actually doing real estate. A few years ago when he said he was doing real estate, I was like, yeah, whatever. Another real estate agent. No, but he's really doing a good job. Look at what this person said. So reviews are great, believe me. Leave a lasting impression of the right kind. Be on top of your game. Don't wing it. Jump in immediately to fix anything that's gone awry. Now, what are a couple things that happen right when we're closing a property? Maybe you haven't closed a property yet, but what are the other players involved when we're closing a property? There's a couple things that are happening. There's 3 other people that are involved in this that are integral to the successful close. What do they do and who are they?
Escrow and title.
And
Insurance,
the what?
insurance.
No. The lender.
Seller.
Lender, yeah.
Lender. We want to make sure that they got the money in the bank and it's in escrow so we can close. They don't have the money, there's no close. So we want to make sure that escrow is on top of everything, that escrow is communicating with the lender, that escrow is communicating with title. We want to make sure that title is communicating with escrow. We want to make sure the lender is communicating with escrow and you, frankly, to let your clients know if there's any issues, no matter what side of the deal you're on. Even if you're a listing agent, you still want to be talking to that lender. If you're the buyer's agent, you obviously want to be talking to the lender. In fact, I saw, and listen, I love everybody at Keller Williams. I use Cannon Hills Closing religiously. But I saw an email going back and forth between people, and I was like, can somebody pick up the phone and figure this out, like right now? Like, you know, sometimes you kind of have to push a little bit and over communicate. If you feel like there's a little bit of something going on, pick up the phone. Don't be the lazy agent who just sends out emails. I hate that, especially if I'm like a listing agent and somebody expects me to read an email. I'm like, can you please pick up the phone next time and let me know you sent me an email? That's all I need. Or a text message, you know, saying, hey, there's an email for you. Be very, very clear with the other parties how you like to be communicated with. I want you to send me a text message every single time you send me an email that's important. I want you to give me a call, especially if it's something that's, you know, time pressing. And really over communicate your needs as an agent with those people. Those are my project manager skills. I was a project manager for construction companies before I got into real estate. So that's my forte. I typically like to close my escrows under 30 days, even if it's a 40-day escrow. So that's what I like doing. Anyway, okay. We have our little picture diagram thingamajigger. You're on your way to payday. So we've been on contracts to close payday. We are right there. We're right in the middle of it all. And again, for everybody who's new on this, we stress leads, 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 leads. If you see this funnel, the more leads you get, the more appointments, the more agreements, the more contacts that you end up getting. You know, listen, I know a lot of people have family and friends, and we rely heavily on those people to give us a lot of our business. I would stress how much better your business would be if you also implemented cold calling, you know, stuff like that, door knocking, mailers to certain areas, and how much better your business would actually turn out to be. Listen, it's great to have, you know, hand-me-downs from family and friends, but I'm telling you, it's even better when you're actively seeking it. Don't just be a trapper, be a hunter. You know, get out there and get the business yourself. Michael, were you going to say something?
Well, I was just going to say what's, you know, like I'm thinking about marketing. I haven't, you know, I'm just representing one buyer at the moment. I haven't never had a listing. I'm a month into being in real estate.
Sure.
So I want to get a marketing piece because I'm the opposite. I don't think I have a ton of family I can rely on because I came from New York 5 years ago. So my biggest network is New York. So what would a flyer look like or a mailer look like for someone like me?
So I think like now mailers are great. If you want to get
door knock, so that's out of the question.
Right. Unfortunately, mailers are great. I would, now that's money that you have to spend to send all of those, which is just fine. But what do people, and I'm not saying anything against mailers. I think you should do mailers, but you could also door drop if you wanted to save it, you know, a couple bucks.
Well, I guess same. Yeah, I guess that could be the same thing for me because I would focus on my little pocket, which is, you know, the Arts District of West Hollywood.
Nice.
So,
nice. Absolutely. So what I would honestly recommend to you, Michael, is try to get into cold calling, which I know is not fun, but it's very effective. And especially in an age where we can't do door knocking, I think cold calling is the next best thing. I really do believe that when people hear you voice to voice, it's a much more proactive way. So in conjunction with, you know, sending out mailers, do a follow-up with a cold call. You know, so like if you're going through all the effort to go ahead and get, you know, a list of addresses and stuff like that, it's just as easy to get that same, you know, list of addresses and numbers associated with it. So
And
you can,
I thought you couldn't get those anymore when you get it from title or the MLS. Phone
numbers?
number. Yeah.
No, you can.
Oh,
There's third party vendors that you can get the phone numbers. Title can't give you the phone number, but they can send you to the third party vendor that can. So for example, Mojo Sells is a great way to get phone numbers. And you can just circle like your exact little pocket, just like we'll click, 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 click.
Yeah.
Make it like a big diagram, like a big circle around an area. And boom, you got all the numbers in that area. And you'll scrub it against the do not call register, which is great. And yeah, what I would do is I'd send out a bunch of mailers, follow up with a cold call and be like, hey, this is Jared Medlinski, Keller Williams, Beverly Hills. Just checking to see if you got my my mail the other, you know, did you get my letter that I sent you the other day?
yeah. I think that's what I want to do because I feel like just because my nature and what's comfortable for me would be that approach just from my history of selling an actual tangible product. Just to like call someone that hasn't seen my face, it's just like not my style. So trying to make this happen, that works for me. So that's a good suggestion. I think I'll do the mailer then.
Sure.
With calls.
Yeah, I have done mailer in my neighborhood and in the property I list, just showing them there is a new property in the market. But I think, Jared, you are right. Should I follow up with those people? I think I sent them last week. I sent like around 500 persons.
Big time, big time.
Michael, you can do like a little postcard. If you want, I can send you my example so you can do something similar if you want.
Oh, yeah, sure. I'd love to see it. Thank you.
Okay, send me your email if you can.
Right in the chat. So yeah, honestly, the best way to do it is right now is to follow up with a cold call, and eventually those cold calls become warm calls. You know, you're going to be sending those mailers out. 1 week after you send that out, you can give a call. Hey, it's Michael from Keller Williams, Beverly Hills. Just wanted to see if you got my note. They're like, oh yeah, Michael. Oh yeah, Keller Williams. Oh, real estate. Yeah. I think I saw that. Well, yeah. Just want to let you know what's going on in the neighborhood. I'm local as well. I live, you know, just down the street from where you are. And the great thing about Mojo Sells, when you're calling the number, it'll say what address they live at. So you can be like, oh, I live right down the street from you. I know. I'm going to use a street that I'm familiar with. Yeah, no, I'm on Pico and Roxbury, and it says that you're on Beverly. We're right down the street from each other. We're practically neighbors. Yeah, anyway, I was just wanting to call it, blah, 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 blah. And then all of a sudden that creates some familiarity. And then in addition to that, what I would say is do social media targeted advertisements. And those, well, they can do magic because they're really, really cheap, one. And two, you can target specific areas. So maybe you want to just target, you know, your farm in West Hollywood, and you can literally just boom. I just want this like small, like 2 square mile, you know, 2 mile radius, and that's all I want, you know, to see. And it's really, really effective because when they're online, they're going to see your face as well too. So you're getting them in the mail, you're getting them in the phone, and you're getting them online. Awesome. Okay.
What question regarding the mobile? I forgot what the name was. Mobile, where you get your numbers to do your
Mojo Sells. I'll put it.
Yes. How is it like a monthly program, or is it? Do they have you pay annually? How does that work?
It is monthly, and it's not exactly cheap. It's about $250 a month for a 3-line dialer. But
so $250 for 3 months.
No, per month.
Per month, okay.
Yeah, and it's only as effective as you know is if you use it. So I'd recommend if you're just starting out and you don't want to inundate yourself with you know, bills and stuff, without getting any sales, maybe go to title, ask for how do I get the numbers for these addresses. They'll send you to a third-party vendor. You'll go ahead, get the numbers from the third-party vendor, and then just pick your phone up and just start calling. Those numbers, I think they sell them for like 25 cents a piece, maybe even less. They're pretty cheap. So that could be a little bit more cost effective for you. And once you have the number, forever. So I would maybe go that route when you're just starting out. Because the Mojo Dialer is great and it gives you a lot of information. But if you're just starting out, just having like a list of addresses and phone numbers and names associated with that, 3 columns, just as easy to go down. If you get a farm that's only like 300 or 400 or 500 people, you can just do it off of a list. It really is, just as effective. It's just a little bit quicker when you're using Mojo.
That's what I was going to ask you. What are the pros about Mojo Dialer?
So the Mojo Dialer. So imagine this. You have a system now that can call three numbers at the same time from the same number. So it comes up as 310-386-8590. But I'm calling 3 people at the same time. The first person who picks up, I start talking to them, and the other 2 drop, and they go back into the cycle, and it'll call them again once I hang up with this person. I talk with this person, we get some info, blah 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 blah. I hang up with them. It automatically calls those 2 people back right away, and an additional other number as well. Let's say this person picks up now, and now I don't want to be flicking everybody off. So let's say this person picks up now, these ones go on hold, or if somebody else picks up, it'll do like a pre-recorded message and be like, oh, I'm so sorry, let me call you right back. And it'll hang up the line automatically. It also, let's say you get to a voicemail, you could have a pre-recorded voicemail that you leave on there, just saying, all of a sudden this line goes to a voicemail or something. I'm on the other line talking to another person. The voicemail I have that's pre-recorded is, hi, this is Jared Medlinski, Keller Williams, Beverly Hills. Just wanted to call and reach out and just, say, blah, 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 blah. I forgot what I have. And then it leaves a voicemail for you on your behalf. So that's why it's pretty, effective. You're calling 3 lines at the same time. One of them picks up, the other 2 kind of just drop off, and then it'll automatically dial them again. It'll replace the one that, you just talked to. Then you have a CRM system that's built into it. So you can say, person wants to sell in 3 months, or person doesn't want to sell, they told me to go F myself, whatever it might be. You can write notes on each individual person, and then you can bring it all over to command, which is also really great. So it's a really, really cool.
And these numbers are how there's that do not call list for the national?
Yep. It's scrubbed against the do not call list.
Okay. Thank you.
Sorry.
And sorry, just one question. Does this list give you an actual physical address along with the name and phone number so you know exactly? Okay.
Yep. And when you're on Mojo, you can click Zillow. So you can look at the house too at the same time. It'll be in like the top left corner, it'll say Zillow, and you just click on it and it'll show you what the house looks like. And they're like, oh, really? So, really? You're from the area? Or I bet you're somebody from like Canada, cold calling, blah, 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 blah. No, actually, I am. Yeah, your house has gorgeous siding. It looks like this. Love the landscaping you did, frankly. Oh, shit. Yeah, that is my house. Yeah, no, seriously, I live down the street. Just wanted to call and introduce myself and, blah, 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 blah. So
with you saying that about Canada, okay, so I still have my New York number. Should I consider getting a local cell phone number?
I don't think it hurts. Absolutely. Yeah. And especially for cold calling, you can get ones pretty cheap. Just so like, yeah. And then plus you can keep your New York one and, just call like your whoever your provider is. Sometimes you can add a line for fairly inexpensively. And yeah, so I would definitely recommend doing that. Yeah.
Are you with Verizon, Michael?
AT&T.
Oh, because I know Verizon's having like a special right now.
Yeah, I'll look into that. I just,
I'm only saying that because I have an 818 number, and from my previous business, people have told me, "Oh, I didn't know you're really located in Beverly Hills because of your number being 818." So I'm gonna be adding another number to my soon. Also,
Okay.
that's a 310 or a 424. So they're having specials because of Black Friday or whatnot.
Nice. All good stuff. Yeah. I would always say like have an area code if you can afford it, if it's in the cards. Try to get a number that fits the location that you're trying to prospect. Okay. So now we are in the end of this process. We are closing a transaction. And ironically, I'm texting Lauren Goldman right now about closing on this other deal that I just closed today. So this is perfect. Contract to close process. The following is an overview of the general contract to close process. Specifics will vary according to state, province, and local regulations. So first, we're starting with our offer. The offer either is going to get rejected, and then we're done. We're dead in the water. It's going to be accepted. Awesome. Or you're going to get a counter offer. Now, I just went through my listing over in Santa Clarita right now. I have a new one. It was on the market for 1 week, and we got 12 offers in the first week. I marketed pretty well, so we countered all the offers. So we went from not just accepting, we went to the counter phase. So once you send counters out, the other agents are going to send their counters back to you, and then you're going to be able to figure out which is the best deal to go after. Okay, so then once it's accepted, we're going to get inspections. The buyer is going to call an inspection person to come out. They're going to do their general inspection. They're going to look around the house, make sure everything's the way it's supposed to be, see if there's anything that's not to code, stuff like that. Once the inspection goes through, we're going to have an inspection reply, or we're going to accept the inspection. So hopefully there's nothing wrong with the house. But if there is something wrong, you might get a situation where they go, hey, we want you to fix, this stuff and that stuff and whatever. Now, the offer that I got over for my property in Santa Clarita, they waived the inspection contingency. Does that mean that they're not going to inspect the property? No, Michael's right. They will still inspect the property, but they can't necessarily get out of the deal for that reason. I mean, they probably can, if I'm being completely honest, as long as they have their, appraisal contingency and the whatever. And frankly, the buyer in California, they could walk out for any reason they want. But it's just a little bit stronger to say, hey, we're not going to be, giving you any credits. So it's just using that as leverage. Like, you knew this in advance, blah, 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 blah. So inspection reply, they're going to say, hey, we want you to fix this. We can either reject it and say, nope, we're not going to do that. And then they could walk away. Or they're going to accept the request for repairs, or accept that the seller is saying, I'm not going to do the repairs, or I'm going to meet you in the middle on those. And so hopefully we get acceptance on whether or not it's repairing it or not repairing it. Hopefully we got an acceptance. We're going to clear the title. Lauren Goldman's going to go up and check, make sure everything's hunky-dory. The loan is going to get underwritten. The loan is going to get funded. And hopefully it doesn't get rejected, because that would suck. Other escrow instructions, those will be sent out to the buyers and sellers from escrow. Escrow is going to collect all this information from title and the loan officer. Closing disclosures will be sent out. Then we're going into our closing. Then where funds are transferred. And now we have legal recording and owner possession.
can I ask a quick question?
Sure.
If there is an inspection and there is work that needs to be done, does the process pause at that stage, or how far along in the process do you keep going until, let's say, like a true example, like a drainage issue where the balconies will flood into the house because the pitch is off, so they have to redo the balconies. So that could take weeks. So does it pause, or you keep going?
Good question. So what you want to do, sorry, I'm a little stuffy. So what you're going to want to do in that situation is hopefully you're a very, very efficient real estate agent, you're going to try to schedule your inspections well before your contingency period is over. So let's say you have a 14-day inspection contingency, or you have a 10-day inspection contingency. Usually I shorten my inspection contingencies. You're going to try to get the person in there. Frankly, if I'm representing a buyer and we're kind of iffy on something, they're like, oh gosh, like I really like the house because of the location, but it looks like the house is falling apart a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and try to get my inspector in there within 3 days, in the same time frame as my earnest money deposit is supposed to be in. And I'm quick with it because I want to know right then and there what's wrong with this property. So my buyer could either go, yes, I still want it, I want them to repair this, or hey, dude, I just need to walk away. This is just too much for me to handle. So then within that 3-day period of time, I might find out that there's issues with the foundation. I might find out that there's issues with the roof. I might find out that there's issues with the electrical. I might find out that there's issues with the plumbing. So with all that said, I have a roofer, I have a termite person, I have a plumber, I have an electrician, and I also have an engineer that specializes in foundations. So right when I get that inspection back, I got 5 people that I could possibly call again to get out there as soon as possible to do even further investigations. Now, if I'm really going to be, anyway, so the point that I'm trying to get at is within that 10-day period of time, I've already done all these inspections. I'd say it's day 7 at that point. And then at that point, I'm going to have that conversation with my buyer. And if, let's say the buyer says, hey, I'm okay with this, whatever, we didn't lose any time in that period. Because we're still moving forward as this is going on. The underwriter still going through his, all their stuff. The loan's trying to, go through this process. Title's making sure everything's the way it's supposed to be. Escrow is asking for documents to be signed and everything. So while you're doing your inspections, everything's still moving forward as planned. Now, the only thing that could slow it down, for example, is if there is something really, 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 really major. But in all honesty, usually like things would fall out of escrow probably at that point. But if, let's say somebody had to redo the foundation or something like that, you might have an escrow that's delayed considerably. But usually when you're inspecting a house, it's not that big of a deal.
Well, for me, actually, in my case, during that time of the inspection and before closing, they didn't get the work done and there was a huge rainstorm and the house completely flooded.
Oh.
And basically we couldn't finish escrow. So in that case, do you have to start the process all over again? Because I think we had to do a whole new contract and start all over.
See, what I would have done in that situation is I would have asked for a credit towards close for a
Well,
current.
we did, because we actually got him back down on price because we paid over asking and we got it back to asking, plus had him do all the work.
Gotcha. Yeah. So that makes sense. So for that, I don't know if you need a new contract for that, frankly. That's just an addendum to the contract. But if you do a new contract, that's fine too.
Maybe it was an addendum. I mean, again, I wasn't as focused on that stuff as I am now. I mean, I was focused on it personally, but not as a professional.
Gotcha. Yeah. It was probably an addendum that was done. Lower the credit, this much back, and we want you to take care of the whatchamacallit. So yeah. But usually when I find something big, I'm going to ask for money back, or a reduction in purchase price, or have them fix the issue for me. So stuff like that, because I try not to delay the escrow as much as possible, if that helps. All right. Any other questions in regards to all that? Awesome. Okay. If I could have Cindy. What's up? Could you read page 15 all the way down to loan underwriting and funded?
Alrighty, let's get this started. I'm using your screen, by the way.
No worries. I'll move it down once it's on loan underwritten and funded.
Okay, cool. Acceptance. Seller and oh wait, you're not at the top. Are you at the top?
Yeah, are you at offer or can you not see
Oh,
that?
no, I can see offer now. Contract. Wait, it's blocked.
Oopsies. Hold on. Give me a second.
Don't stop moving your cursor, Jared. Then you can read it.
Bad Jared. Bad Jared. Okay, how about now?
Ready.
All right.
Steps and basic contracts to close process. Offer. Contract proposal from the buyer received by the seller through their agent extending terms, which if agreed from the basis for a sales contract. Acceptance. Seller and buyer accept all proposed and counter proposed terms and conditions and are ready to sign the contract and move toward closing. Counter offer or offers. Seller's amendments to the offer, creating an opportunity for further negotiations with the buyer may reply. Rejection. Seller decides not to pursue the offer further, or the buyer rejects a seller's counter, ending the negotiations. Inspection. Buyer conducts all required or desired inspections, physical, environmental, etc., and receives the report if a professional inspector is used. Inspections and reply. Buyer's documents itemizing desired improvements or repairs resulting from observations or tests performed during inspection. Inspection, reply, acceptance, or rejection. Seller determines their response to the inspection's reply and amends contracts terms to reflect what they are or not willing to do to comply with the buyer's request. This process, a further negotiation of the contract, continues until it is either totally resolved or until the contract is rejected by either party. Clear title. Buyer and seller have an opportunity to review a preliminary report or title local from forms of this vary. This rejection, whether any encumbrances, liens, or other issues have been discovered that might prevent the buyer from taking clear title to the seller's property. Loan underwritten or funded. While the buyer and their agents have lead responsibilities, here the listing agent also has a responsibility to the seller to assure that the buyer's loan in progressing with all due haste. All that is will fund for closing in a timely manner.
Awesome. Good job. Oh wait, we got some more. You want to get these other 1, 2, 3, 4 ones?
Yeah. Other
Awesome.
escrow instructions, either or both parties may have title the escrow company. In some states that two are one and the same. Special instructions about the disbursements of funds. Both agents have a responsibility to make sure any questions about the disbursements details are answered to avoid last minute delays. Closing disclosures. The closing disclosure is federally mandated and it is a 5-page form that provides final details about the mortgage loan. It includes the loan terms and projected monthly payments and closing costs. The lender is required to provide the closing disclosures at least three business days before closing. Closing, the final two-phase meetings of the parties to conclude the transactions. Each party signs that require documents with a title and or escrow officer present to oversee the signing process. Funds are present by the buyer or the buyer's lender to satisfy terms of the sale. The seller receives their proceedings from the sale. Recordation and process and possession. The transaction becomes part of the records of the local government entity with jurisdiction of the transaction is complete. The buyer takes the possession of the property that the seller has vacated unless a seller carryover or buyer preoccupancy has been part of the contract.
Awesome. Okay. Thank you very much, Cindy. That was awesome.
I had
now-
a question.
Yes.
When do you get the notary? Like when, because it's the escrow that has to be present. So when is a notary don't you have to get a notary at some point?
Yeah. So escrow will let you know when a notary needs to be taken place. And for example, if you use Cannon Hills and the person lives in Los Angeles, they'll go ahead and send a notary out to them. They have mobile notaries. Now, if your person is willing to drive into the office, they can avoid a notary and do all of that in the office with escrow. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and who pays for the notary? Would that be like the escrows?
No, that would be the buyer or seller and all that kind of fun stuff. They pay for their own notary.
Okay.
Also, to be clear on the closing, it doesn't happen face to face. Maybe in the states where there's a lawyer that does the closing, like in New York, there's usually a more final moment, but usually escrow just says, okay, the house
Yeah.
is yours.
Pretty much. For example, my property. Who the heck is Mia Williams? Oh, she's in our office. Oh, I'm so sorry. Sorry. Sorry about that. She's okay. I know Mia. I'm silly. So yeah, when you close on a transaction, you basically just get an email from your escrow officer that says, "We've got good news. We are confirmed." I don't know if you can see that. It might be backwards, but it just basically says, "Good news. We've confirmed. You now own a property." Blah 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 blah. That's all it is. So, but Michael's right. So usually, like in New York, you might do a face-to-face. Some other places, you know, in the Midwest, South, and stuff like that, they do face-to-face closings. We do not do that here in California. Awesome. Okay. Now, quick question, everybody. If you have, let's say, a buyer and you funded, everything's funded, and the buyer goes, "Great, can I go to the house and move in right now?" Is that a good idea or a bad idea?
Bad.
Bad. Why is it a bad idea?
I think, isn't there like a grace period? Like when the close happens, there's like a certain number of hours that the seller can move out or whatever.
So if we're looking at what Cindy just read, loan underwritten and funded. So we just funded. All the money's transferred over, and it was on Friday, end of Friday. They funded. Then you got a weekend, and all they got to do is just confirm with the county that it's recorded. Why wouldn't we let them go into the house yet?
I guess they don't technically own it yet.
Bingo, that's absolutely correct. Because we need to wait for the county to record it. That is the whole reason and the whole enchilada. Until you get recording, they don't own the house. So let's say, God forbid, they go into the property, and you know they're so excited, they're moving boxes in, they're moving furniture in, and they go to the bathroom real quick, flush the toilet, and the water's running, and it clogged, and it continues to run, and all of a sudden the entire place is flooded. Who's responsible for that? That's a big lawsuit going to happen right there, because the seller is going to say, "What do you mean? This is your house now. It's your responsibility." Then they're going to say, "Well, wait. We didn't record yet. So technically it's your house. And isn't that's your fault? I didn't go to the bathroom. You must have left the water running." So all of a sudden, what was just like, oh, this is like, oh yeah, you know, we're going to record on Monday. No big deal. Like, it's fine. Now you got a lawsuit on your hands. So always wait before you hand over those keys. And believe me, the buyer's going to go to you. "Yeah, we just funded. Great. Can I have the keys now?" Wait, we have to wait until we get confirmation of recording. Once we get confirmation of recording, I will give you those keys. So just remember that, especially with first-time buyers, they hear we funded, they think that they closed. Sometimes you do fund and close in the same day, but, and frankly, that does happen quite often, but not all the time. So sometimes you might fund on a Friday in the afternoon, and there's not enough time for the county to record. So you got to wait until Monday. Always remember that. Very, very important.
What if they do for sale by owner and the owner doesn't record and it's been like a few weeks by now? Like, how long does recording shouldn't take that long, right? Because you're just going to the county clerk's office.
Can you repeat the first part of the question again?
What if it's a for sale by owner and they don't record?
What do you mean? For sale by owner, still going to use an escrow company.
Right. And if it's not recorded in the county clerks, then what? Because recording, isn't that optional? I thought that wasn't mandated by law.
No, I think it's mandated. You have to record. When you're transferring property over, you have to record.
Okay, I thought it wasn't, I thought that was optional.
Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm 90.
Well, I mean, you have more experience. So I'm going to go with what you said.
No, I'm like 99% positive that you have to record. I mean, maybe you don't have to, but that sounds like somebody's trying to like
Do something shady, right?
Oh, it sounds like somebody's trying to play a trick on you. Yeah, give me all this money. You can live in my house. Oh, by the by, I still have title to the house. That's what recording is showing that title is transferred to another owner.
Yeah.
So I'm 90% sure you have to record. But anyway, who knows? Ask around. I could be wrong. No idea. I listen. I've heard of people doing some scams on other people where they don't transfer ownership legally. They just transfer money, and the other person's living on the property, and then all of a sudden they go to look at title, and they go, "Wait a second, they didn't actually transfer title over. You've just been living in somebody's house, and title still is with that person, and they're taking loans out on the house." And yeah, it's dangerous. Yeah, you always want to record, frankly.
Right.
Anyway, system equals success. Systems equals success. Success. I can't talk right now. Yes, you want to have a system. Once you've closed a couple escrows, you know what to do, when to do it, how to do it, and it's going to be easy. But it's even better if you have a buyer agent contract to close checklist. Those are awesome because you just have it right there. You create a file, you put that with the file, you're going down, days are ticking off, and you're just checking things off the list. And it's like on autopilot at that point. So this one is a great checklist that we could use. Obviously, we're in California. Some things might be different, but I think this is fairly standard for most instances. So I think you could use this. Submit contract and earnest money deposit to title escrow. Date specified contract done. Oh, excuse me. Deliver earnest money to listing agent. We never touch money in California, especially. We never touch it. That's going to be delivered. It's going to be wired over from the bank. Schedule structural termite inspections, arrange geological and other inspections if needed. Obtain loan, and it's boom, 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 and you're just checking stuff off the list, and that's what's really important. Listing agent contract to close checklist. Again, this is great. Open title, submit contract and earnest money to escrow, all this fun stuff. Speaking of, whoops, forgot to tell somebody who is doing title for Santa Clarita. It's okay, I'll do it a little later. 1 second, please. All right. Okay. Needed to get that out as time sensitive. All right. So definitely we want to look at these checklists and all that stuff. Now this one is how things go wrong. Application delays. Select your own original and get pre-approval. These are really, really great stuff to keep an eye on. All of these items right here, how things could go wrong and the solutions to it. Keep those, if you want to, go ahead and take a screenshot of this and print this out, or you can download it again if you go to, what am I on? KW Connect. So very good stuff. Are there any general questions about closing contracts related to real estate before I keep going on. Awesome.
Our TC would be going over the contracts as well, correct?
Yes, but it is up to you as the listing agent or buyer's agent to make sure you are reviewing everything. If they send you something for a signature and you don't read it and you just sign it and you find out that the agent was screwing you over somehow, that's your fault. So you want to make sure you're reading over everything, especially if there's addendums, if there's you're receiving contracts from or offers and you're the listing agent. You want to go through everything with a fine-tooth comb, and then you send it off to the TC.
Because right now with Christine's classes, we're doing these contracts, and she goes very thoroughly, step by step, what section is and all that jazz, which I think is great. What does it that the TC end up looking at? Because I'm like, it seems like you said, we're going through everything very thoroughly. So what does the TC actually end up looking at? That's what I want to know.
There are a second set of eyes to yours.
Okay.
Listen, I miss signatures sometimes. They make sure I don't miss anything. They make sure they are there to help you out, but it is ultimately your responsibility. It's like having an assistant. If you if something happens and you don't catch something, it's your fault. It's not your assistant's fault. They're doing what they were told. So keep that in mind. But a good TC is very much so on top of it. Brian Chung in our office, he is the best. I mean, he gets everything done perfectly. He's amazing. So not all TCs are that good. But it definitely takes a lot of stress off of my shoulders whenever I'm using him.
Can you put his name in the contacts with his phone number if you have it, please?
Totes my goats.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Oh my God.
No yawning, it's contagious.
I know. I'm sorry. I've been up since 5:30. Okay. Brian Chung, and he's in the Beverly Hills office. Okay. It's the man with the master plan. Okay. Seize this golden opportunity. Although the closing process may seem like the end, it is not. It actually can be the beginning of another relationship with your next buyer, seller, referral, or vendor. Providing an excellent customer experience for everyone involved, over communicating, setting and exceeding expectations is the key to seizing this golden opportunity. Think of all the people involved in the entire transaction, especially the close. Buyers, sellers, other agents, lenders, title companies, and many more. It is important to always leave a great impression. One of the best ways to do this is acknowledge and thank them and always come from gratitude. I mean, frankly, I had the worst escrow that I've ever gone through in my entire life with this divorce thing. And frankly, this agent tried to commit fraud. She tried to, kick me out of the, out of the loop. It was ridiculous. But guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to write a nice little email and say, listen, I know things didn't go exactly as we planned, but I just wanted to appreciate everybody involved and say, good luck to you in your future endeavors and blah, 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 blah. Why am I
very nice of you. I'm surprised you didn't go out. Things didn't go exactly as you planned.
Yeah. I don't care. I'm getting, a 5-figure payday from it. So I don't really, whatever, she can be petty all she wants, but I still have money in my pocket. So the way I look at it is being the one thing that gets in the way in this business is ego. I've realized, and myself included, it can get the best of me. But when you take your ego, you put it at the door and just realize everybody's on their own, journey in life. You can't take everything personally. You have to, realize, I don't know, maybe she, was declaring bankruptcy and needed all that money. I have no idea. But the truth of the matter is she did a lot of bad stuff. But by me going, nana, nana, doo-doo, you're a bad agent, it's not going to do anything for me. In fact, I have listings in that same area, and a lot of the agents from her same office are coming to my listing to write offers on it. So, I mean, we just accepted an offer, but like, they're still calling. And so I don't want to burn that bridge, because that could be potential buyers that might want to work with, might want a listing of mine or something like that. So you never want to burn bridges in business. I remember once an old boss of mine threw a stapler at my head while I was sitting in the office. And this is when I was in construction. It didn't hit me in the head, but it went right by my ear and went through a wall.
Wow.
It was one of the first houses I ever sold. So the point is even if you have weird, relationships with people, you'd be surprised if you are able to maintain a good relationship and come from contribution and kindness. Somebody who threw a stapler at your head could be one of your first big sales. So, keep that in mind.
What happened with the lawyer? Because I know that the lawyer was in our office and in their office as well. How did you guys figure that out?
They recommended to them, like, hey, they just told them the truth. Like, listen, we can't represent, both of you, but I'm going to recommend that this is what you all do, for the interest of both of your brokerages. I'm holding a lighter. I shouldn't do that. But yeah. But the really real importance that they want to, this session wants to follow up on and finish on is follow up with everyone. Some agents believe that their best time to ask for referrals after you have begun to deliver on your customer experience commitments, but before things have a chance to go awry. However, even when there are challenges during the transaction, handled well, they can be opportunities to be your client's hero. If you have given your client a great customer experience, now is the best time to ask for a referral and testimonial, because all parties are at their happiest. Everyone has reached the outcome they desired, and you have shown your professionalism multiple times throughout the transaction. Be sure to add the client to the other side of their transaction to your database, as an NAR statistics makes it clear. And remember, I started today's lesson with this. This is if anything, if we don't get anything that we just went over today, this is something that we should focus on. The NAR statistic makes it clear the chances that their agent will orphan them after the transaction is very, very high, providing you the opportunity to adopt them as a new client for life. Touch campaigns are the single best proven tool for enlarging your real estate universe. Closing should be a signal to you to start your client on a 33 touch program immediately. Add all participants to your database, including agents, lenders, and closing officers, if they are not already. Call your new past clients. The buyers and sellers, I'm not even going to go into this right now, but please, everybody, I know we like texting. I know we like sending DMs. I know we like sending emails. I know anything to avoid actually talking to a human being. It seems to be the preferred method these days. Don't be that agent. Pick up the phone, make a phone call, have a personal interaction with people. You get such a better idea of who the person is when you can hear their tone, their cadence. All of these things are very, very important. One text message I could send might sound sarcastic and like I'm an asshole. But if I say it on the phone, they might realize, oh, he didn't even mean that at all. He was actually, being whatever. So make sure you pick up the phone, get in the habit of calling these people. Listen, there are clients that I could care less to talk to, but I make it a point to pick up the phone and talk to them. And especially when we're having disagreements sometimes. I might not call them right away because I need to think about what I'm going to say, but pick up the phone. But anyway, moving forward. I think we get it. We should pick up the phone. Okay, the buyers and sellers you just closed with now are a member of a special club that you host. Get that new phase of your relationship started with a personal call to them within 1 to 2 weeks after closing to see how they are doing in the next phase of their lives, to thank them again for their business and ask for referrals. Remember I said something about, how many people would use their agent again? So I was a little bit off. I said 80%. This is 88%, so it's even higher. National Association of Realtors reports that 88% of clients say that they would use their real estate agent again, but only 12% do. I was giving them 20%. It's even lower. Only 12% of them do. Don't be the 76% that loses touch with their past clients. It's that simple. Just put them on a touch campaign. If you're not a techie person and you can't figure it out on command, which I think everybody in this chat can do, pick up the phone, make phone calls. This gentleman that I closed with, years ago, I make a point to call him once a month and just be like, "Hey, Michael, just want to see how you're doing, how you holding up, what's new with you, how's the family, how's your health, blah, 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 blah." When the fires were going on, I was calling him constantly, just making sure he was safe because he was living in like one of the fire zones. I asked if he needed anything. He laughed, and said, "Jared, I highly doubt you're going to be able to drive over here. All the freeways are closed." I'm like, I know, but I just feel horrible. I just want to like make sure you're safe. And that person has sent me more business, and he wants to sell 2 houses with me. So make sure you stay in touch with your clients, because that's the way you're going to become successful.
So your touch campaign, are you doing all of that through command, or do you have like a special program on your phone? Like, how
No,
are you?
frankly, I preach, do as I say, not as I do. I need an assistant to help me figure out command. I'm just not a techie person. Whenever I talk with Blake, he's like, "Oh yeah, just do this." I'm like, "Oh,
Yeah, they make it sound very, very easy. Like if it's
easy for you, it's not easy for me." I got other things that I'm thinking about and stuff. So unfortunately, I don't do it as often as I should. I use Google Calendar. I mark, stuff on my Google Calendar. Frankly though, to his credit, I probably don't do it because I don't try enough to do it. Because remember what I said to you, Cindy, when you're first doing something, it seems so hard because you're not really confident in what you're doing. The second you do it over and over and over again, and that fear of not doing it right, diminishes, all of a sudden you realize how easy it is. So in Blake's defense, I think that he is right that we should be using command, and because it is a very, very powerful tool if used correctly. I typically use Google Calendar just to give myself a reminder to call somebody. I'm also just a very social kind of individual. So I don't know, if I get bored, I'll just pick up the phone and call somebody and be like, "Hey, what you doing? What's new?" So that's just me. Everybody has their own system. I'm making it a goal of mine that this year I'm going to use command and put every single person in my database into a 33 touch campaign. That is my #1 goal for this year, because I do believe that if you're getting a constant drip of emails sent to somebody 33 times in a year, you will get some business out of that, bar none. So, and especially something that reminds you to, hey, give them a call. You already sent them 12 emails. Why don't you pick up the phone this time? And boom. Anyway, send a customer satisfaction survey. Make it a habit to send a survey. I think that's great. I don't do that, and I should. Hey, from me to blah, blah, blah. We work together on a project of the utmost importance to you, your home. Please help me serve you and your friends by taking a few minutes to complete the survey. If you wish to talk to me directly, don't hesitate to call me at 310-386-8590. For your convenience, I am enclosing an addressed and stamped envelope. Directions, please rate your level of agreement with the statements. 10, strongly agree. 1 equals strongly disagree. I delivered on what was promised. 10, I was accessible to you for you to contact me. 10, I listened. 10, you are willing to recommend me to others. Hopefully it's a 10. You would use me again as your real estate agent. Hopefully it's a 10. If you were in charge of my business, what's one of the things you change? What did I do well? May I include your comments in my marketing materials? Hopefully, yes. Thank you very much. That is actually a really, really good little piece of something that you could send out. So I really like that. Anyway, so I think we all get the idea. This goes about, we're going to go for like 3 or 4 more pages just about keeping in touch with your clients after closing. So I think we get the idea how important it is to do that and to stay in touch with people. So we're going to go ahead and break for the day. Is there any other questions? We don't now have to learn about getting paid because we all know how to get paid. It's pretty easy, except money. So is there any other questions that we have before we go? Awesome. Well, thank you all very much for joining. It's been great. I will see you all on Wednesday for our last class. And then we are off until January 4th. So most of you, a lot of you are completing your training today. You're welcome to join any other time if you want a refresher. Some of you have not done all the classes, which is all right. We'll go ahead and start with Power Session 1 on January 4th. But other than that, I hope we all have a very productive day. Get out there, make some phone calls, and add some people into your CRM.
Thank you, Jared. Do you have a list of which classes we did?
Yeah, that's the thing that I do every single morning. Boom, this thing. And Tanya, I think I missed you this morning, so let me make sure I give you credit for today. Boom.
Oh, okay.
Boom. Oh, what did I just do? I just did something. There we go.
Let me take a picture of that.
Yeah, you got
I'm number
1,
15.
4. You meant 5, 6. You missed 5 and 6. It looks like.
That's it?
That's it. So Kristen Toll might let you slide with missing just 2.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Cool.
You're just trying to get rid of me, aren't you?
I am not. I just want to make sure I'm efficient. I'm trying to pass my class.
Absolutely. Well, thank you everybody for joining. Have a great rest of your day. And as always, feel free to reach out to me on Instagram or Facebook if you have any questions. And other than that, make it a good one. Cheers,
Thank
y'all.
you. Bye.
You.
Have a great day.